Guys, coming to you today with a very intimate topic that I just kind of wanted to have with you guys. I'm not doing the headphones today and microphone, gonna ruin the hair if I try to put these headphones on today. And I felt like getting dressed up today and doing something with this hair as it's grown out. So here we are with that. First of all, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that the women's retreat, for some of you that I've been working with you guys for a long time, please reach out to me, because this is not just going to be for people that need to recover from narcissistic abuse. There's going to be people coming, you guys, that really don't have much to discuss about that, but they're coming to meet some really amazing other women and get to know some of the women that I work with, and to have a nice time, to have a nice little vacation time. This is going to be August 26th through the 30th, and I'd love for you guys to come. So please just reach out to me if I've worked with you to get the rates and to get the plane ticket, going. So it would be really great if you guys could come. For many of you, like I said, that I've worked with, I would love to see you there. So make sure you reach out to me. Okay, so this is a tough topic to discuss, and a lot of people out there don't want to discuss it. It's very intimate. It's involving personal, intimate things about yourself that are very hard to talk about. So I'm going to just freely sort of discuss this freely and openly today. And I didn't want to be distracted by comments today, as I just wanted to let myself say what's on my mind regarding this topic, because not only have I personally had this battle in my lifetime with narcissists being around me since I can remember, and for many of you that do know parts of my story, there's so many parts to my story. I'm going to share a little bit more with you guys tonight. But I want to discuss tonight what happens to a lot of targets and victims of narcissistic abuse, and how what happens to a lot of us is we tend to go within and we tend to self-sabotage ourselves. We don't tend to take it out on others, but we tend to take it out on ourselves in the form of addictions. And I'm talking tonight about addictions to food, addictions to alcohol, addictions to drugs and prescription drugs. And a lot of people will get addicted to the prescription drugs that their doctors are prescribing them for anxiety and so on and so forth. And I want to talk openly tonight about why that is, why that's occurring after you've dealt with narcissistic abuse in your life, and why this is such a huge problem that we're seeing globally. As I work with clients, you guys know, from many different countries, from all around the world, that I'm blessed to, and I see this is a constant. This is a trend that we need to discuss. So a lot of times we see this happening more often than not to women, but I do see it happening to a lot of men as well. And the first thing I want to discuss tonight is an unhealthy relationship to food. Why is that happening when I am with a narcissist? Well, from what I can tell you guys, there are many layers to this that contribute to this being a very serious problem. The first thing I want to say about it is a lot of people, now I've had issues with my weight since I can remember. My stories starts from way back when I was in grammar school. I got made fun of because I was way too thin. I was a dancer, and I would literally spend 5 hours a night every day after school performing every type of dance there was back then to do: tap, jazz, ballet, lyrical, modern, all that stuff in it. And I was involved in all those classes, and this went on up until I was practically 18. I was still taking dance courses in college. So at any rate, I I always had an issue with people having something to say about my body. Okay, so I've been dealing with that since I was a child. And then for many of you that know, I went on to become a musician and an actress in certain things, and being in that industry, there is a constant and continuous focus on your body. Well, so for me, that's where this all sort of started. And with Narc number 2, discovering his porn addiction, that really put me on this trajectory of trying to control how thin I could possibly be. Okay, because obviously after I stopped dancing, I did start to actually develop shape in my body, and I was a late bloomer with my body developing, so to speak, because of all the years of dance. But when that finally happened, when I got to college, you know, that was always a focus, and there is still this hyper focus on women's bodies. I mean, we can't turn on the TV without it being thrown in our face and having us feel like we have to be perfect all of the time. It's constant. It's been going on since I was a kid, and it is still going on. And we see these trends that go on with, for how many years there, 7 years there, it was the big butt trend. Women were supposed to look like horses and have big butts and huge legs. And now that trend is dying. And there was something sort of okay about that trend. I should say, kind of digress a little, like let women, if they want to put on muscle, that's cool. We shouldn't have to look like stick figures. Well, now that the Kardashians and many of the celebrities are going back to stick figures, we're going to see that trend coming up again, which is very, very dangerous. It's all dangerous, because even with the horse butt and legs, people were doing the injections and this and that. So anyways, all this to say, that's the first thing that I see happening to a lot of women is they feel like they have to be perfect. And when a narcissist comes knocking on your door in life, and you already have this pressure to have this perfect body, so to speak, now the narcissist comes in your life, and they are demons from literal demons from hell, and they're coming into your life, and they are adding to that pressure. For me, when I was with Narc number 2 and discovered he had a porn addiction, it really made me feel like I have to be even more perfect. When I saw the women that he was picking out that literally were underage, okay, these are the sites that these sick people go on, and they're looking at teenagers, you guys. They're looking at teenagers, and it's just a sick world we live in, and it goes on, and it puts pressure on women, okay? Women that have a woman's body to look like straight up and down with no shape, and it's disturbing. So when that happened to me, I developed an eating disorder, okay? And I'm not going to go into detail of which one it was and what I would do, because it's not healthy. There are many different things that women will do and men will do to control what they eat and to stay a certain size and to feel okay about their shape. And it is very, very unhealthy that you get to this place in life, but I want to talk about it tonight. Now, a lot of times we're doing this because we feel like it's the one avenue we can control. It's the one place we have some sort of control over, right? And so we restrict our calories, or we binge eat, or we do these things because we feel like, okay, it's the one place we have control over. And meanwhile, we're completely out of control. And once I finally got the correct help and I was able to have a better and healthier relationship with food, the next part of my story is that I got very big into bodybuilding and working out, and that's when I met Narc number 3. And Narc number 3 was also big into bodybuilding, and to the point where that's where half of his cheating went on. That's where half of his narcissism took place. I ended up getting injured early on into the marriage. I still have a back injury to this day because of that night that involved the narcissist. And that's a whole nother story of how that happened to me. But once that happened to me, it really messed with me mentally. And I couldn't do what I once could do. I couldn't run, 6-7 miles a day any longer. I couldn't lift the way I wanted to lift any longer. And it really messed with me. And while I was getting weaker and weaker, the narcissist, obviously, as we know, that they're energy vampires, he was getting stronger and stronger, going into bodybuilding competitions and this and that. And it put even more pressure on me. He would get mad if I didn't buy certain things that we could have in the house. And I am talking literally all we were allowed to eat was any type of meat, salads, eggs, rice, fish, and that's it. And if I brought anything else home, I'd be getting dirty looks. And I literally, if I wanted something sweet, I'd have to get up in the middle of the night to try to go sneak it. And he would catch me and I'd feel guilt. I mean, that's the kind of sickness I dealt with in these relationships. And when it was finally time to let him go and move on with my life, I mean, I went on the completely opposite end of the spectrum, where I knew I could eat whatever I wanted, and I did, okay? And I did. But what I want to talk about is, as I'm telling you guys what personally happened to me in my journey with food addiction, okay? And unhealthy relationships to food, because I see this happen to a lot of people in this community, not just myself. And that's why I want to talk about it, because a lot of people aren't talking about how this happens. Okay. Now you can go into another whole area where, if you're not restricting food, which a lot of people will either be doing that to try to feel in control, you are overeating. You are emotionally eating. You are eating when you're not even hungry, or you're going towards food as a place of comfort, as a place of self-control, so it feels that way. And obviously, guys, we know that any of these addictions I'm talking about today, they release a dopamine hit. Well, you haven't got dopamine dealing with a narcissist, you'll do anything for a dopamine rush. And so here comes into play your addiction to carbohydrates, your addiction to sugary foods, to sodas. And it's a real thing that happens to people, because they don't feel like they had self-control over so many things. And that's the one avenue that they feel like they have some sort of control over. And they sort of turn to that as a place that they can go for some sort of soothing. It's a self-soothing. It's you're going there to self-soothe is what you're doing. Okay. And it can go on for many, many years, coming out of narcissistic abusive relationships. And it can wreak havoc in your life, because it's a pattern that a lot of people don't know how to get out of, and don't know how to break free from, and don't know how to have a healthy relationship again with food. And it does come from trauma, and it comes from abuse. Okay. So let's talk about it tonight. Let's leave some comments about maybe some of the things you've experienced. There is definitely a symbolic thing with weight, okay? And feeling like you are wearing the weight of the world on your shoulders. That is a totally real thing. A lot of people that are in the medical field, in the psychology field, they struggle with this. They're taking on a lot of things throughout their days. And we see it happen with a lot of nurses. A lot of nurses tend to become very overweight, because they're all day taking care of other people, that they no longer have time to take care of themselves. All right. So if we're not talking about it tonight, where else are we talking about it? How are we going to solve this? How are we going to get support around this? How are we going to help one another? Also, guys, weight is a very personal journey. I'm going to say that tonight. It's a very, very personal journey that somebody has. Okay. And it can symbolize a lot of what's going on in that person's life. It's a very touchy subject for a lot of people. For me to even put myself out here tonight to talk about it, it is really hard, okay, because of these societal standards and pressures that we have to look a certain way and to be youthful and all this stuff. But as I go into other addictions that take place after narcissistic abuse, I want to say this much to you guys in considering weight, okay? That is something I can personally speak on, that does not matter to the right people in your life, okay? People that actually really love you for you, yes, they're going to want you to be healthy. Yes, they're going to want to support you in any type of weight loss journey you'd like to get started on, or let's talk about just a healthy diet journey, right? Healthy eating, nutrition, using words like this. Nobody likes to hear that word diet. It's so annoying, right? But anybody that really loves you in your life will never make you feel like your weight is going to be a problem for them, is even a problem for them. You know, they're going to love you right where you're at. And that is something I can honestly speak to you guys about. That is the truth. And it bothers you more than it would bother anybody else in your life that really loves you. And there is support for people that have gotten out of narcissistic abuse, that are struggling with their weight. I offer it. I have groups for this. If you're interested, make sure you reach out to me. All of my information is always in the drop-down menu. My email address is tracefaceit@gmail.com. And so I can help you guys with that struggle that I have honestly been on this journey, going through the same struggles myself. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to say to you is this. There are other addictions that are patterns that a lot of people from narcissistic abuse are going through, and the next one being alcohol abuse. Why does this happen? Alcohol becomes your numbing agent. It becomes your numbing agent. It is the quickest thing for any adult to get their hands around. It is on every single corner of every single street, pretty much all around the globe. You can get your hands on alcohol. It is a societal acceptable behavior that should not be, but it is. The one thing I can report on about this that I'm so pleased to hear is that a lot of the millennials and generations upcoming, the generation upcoming, are not interested in drinking alcohol. Why? Because they saw their family members, their aunts, their uncles, their parents, you know, their older siblings get tied into this very horrible trap, starting most of us in college, that went on for years' time, that became a numbing agent for us. And especially when you're dealing with a narcissist, you guys, oh boy, it's so easy to do. And what you're not understanding is that you can go on like this for years and years and years' time, decades worth of your life, thinking, well, my blood works fine at the doctor. I got a clean bill of health. Let me keep on drinking. But what you don't know is what it's doing to your organs. And a lot of this does not show up on blood tests, you guys, until it is too late. I just lost a friend this week to alcoholism. Okay, and that is why I'm dedicating this video to talk about this very important subject tonight. He gave up. Okay, he gave up his battle with alcoholism, and he decided that he was going to go out the way he wanted. As we talked very intimately about this 2 years ago, and he told me that he had 2 years left to live, and he made it just about that. He made it almost those 2 years to the day that we talked about what was happening here. He told me he was comfortable with who he is. And as I don't mean to disrespect him, and his choice to not get some help. I want to say this. I know of people that literally were given 2 months left to live with stage 4 liver failure, or I don't know how many stages it goes, stage 3, stage 4, to the point where you're ready to die. You literally have weeks, and they turned their entire health around by eating right. There's some amazing people out there there's this one person in particular, his name's Scott Frieda, and you can find his channel, Frieda, Freida. You can find his channel on YouTube as well as TikTok. He's teaching people how to eat that have an unhealthy addiction to alcohol. He's teaching alcoholics that there's something that helps you creating a sweet and hotness and a sweetness together to your food that's going to stop these cravings to alcohol. And he's brilliant. He has helped me tremendously. Okay. And I want more people like this to be known for what they're doing. They're helping save people. He was one of the ones that was told he had 2 months left to live. His wife died of alcoholism at 45 years old. They retired from work early. They lived the Florida lifestyle, living on a boat, drinking every night, and she's gone. So we got to talk about it, you guys, because I want all of you to be here. I don't want you to be my friend who gave up and decided that he was going to go out partying till his very last day. That's no way to live, you guys. Okay? Because what he didn't understand is he's left all of us behind, mourning and grieving. That's how selfish these addictions become, that you don't care about anybody or anything any longer than getting your next buzz on. It's very scary, you guys. And for the young folks that are listening to me tonight, please understand how quickly this happens. I have watched alcoholism happen to people in their 60s and 70s that never had an alcohol problem before. Alcohol is a very sneaky disease that creeps up on you when you least expect it, and will destroy your life and the lives of those all around you if you're not careful. Okay? I think now they're going on to prove that if you're a woman that has more than 4 drinks a week, you're on your way to death's door. And as somebody who was raised around it, had it my generations worth in my family, it's killed family members of mine. It is currently killing family members of mine. It was going to kill me. Okay? Now you're going to find you'll be lucky if I have 1 or 2 at a very special occasion, because I know how very bad this is. I know what it does. Okay, now, and some people, they can't even do that, and they don't want to. They choose to just kick alcohol out of their life for good. And to me, that's the way to do it. Okay, that's the way to do it. Just kick it out of your life for good. All right. And drugs, you guys, don't trust your doctors the way that you are. So many of you are trusting your doctors to give you the right prescription for your anxiety, and you are addicted to your prescription medications. You're addicted to your barbiturates, your sleeping pills. They're making you act not right. You're slurring your words. You know, your doctors don't know everything. They don't follow you from day to day to see that this isn't normal. This isn't good for you. You have side effects from these medications. So yes, do some people get help with prescription meds? But a lot of times you end up abusing those medications, and now you're addicted to painkillers, okay, through an injury you had, and so on and so forth. I see this happen all the time. There's a whole trend of people now addicted to these steroids. There's steroids you can get very easily now on the market than you ever could before. They're in pill form. You don't no longer have to shoot them up. There's this going on for people to look perfect, right? It's really dangerous when you pick your vice and you stick to that for your dopamine hit. Okay? Get some support and some help around this. You don't have to go through this alone. You don't have to be embarrassed of your secrets that you're doing behind closed doors. I'm here to tell you that a lot of people close to you, they already know. They know what your secrets are. You think that, a lot of alcoholics think that they're hiding their alcoholism. No, people know. People can hear you slurring your words. You got a lot of enablers in your life, guys. You got a lot of enablers. They're not going to say anything to you because why? Because that would mean that they would have to change too, and they're not ready for that. So they're going to enable you to keep drinking. They're going to enable you. It's okay. It's all right. You need to just, you just needed a few today. You had a rough day. You can make every excuse known to man why you're going to choose that unhealthy meal tonight, why you're going to choose that alcoholism, that drink, why you're going to choose to have more than one Klonopin tonight and mix it with alcohol. But I want you to choose your life. And tonight I'm asking you guys to choose your life, because we all love you and we all want you here. And there's so much more to life than your next buzz. You can get a buzz and an even better one by going for a nice long walk in a beautiful day like today, where it's close to 60 degrees out there today. You can get a buzz from going for a bike ride, or saying to yourself, oh, hey, I did really good this week. I ate really well. I'm gonna my treat I'm gonna provide myself with. This is my treat. Is something really healthy that's going to make me feel good. A smoothie that's got my favorite fruits in it and my favorite yogurt in there, and I'm going to feel really good about myself. I'm going to treat myself to bettering my body and bettering my health and my mind. It is all connected, you guys. I don't care what anybody says. It is all connected. You can't be over here doing spiritual stuff and then leaving that group and coming home and drinking a fifth and thinking that that spiritual help you just got actually made a difference. Because I'm here to tell you it didn't. It all is connected, and life is actually really beautiful if you allow the real things in the world to give you a buzz, which is the sun, which is the ocean, which is great conversation with people, which is even could be a little coffee from time to time. I finally kicked that habit. That was a habit I never thought I could kick. And 2 years ago, I was able to kick that addiction. It was such a severe addiction, you guys, that the first week of me getting off of caffeine was horrible. I think it was worse than when I stopped drinking all the time. Really hard to break. So if I can do that and I can do these other things, so can each and every one of you. And I'm here to say that we have support around this. I do have support groups for this. And if you're interested, make sure you reach out to me. And please, guys, for those of you that did watch this entire video and you do relate, please share in the comments with others what you're currently going through, your current struggles, and or if you've beaten these addictions after narcissistic abuse. Tell us how. Tell us what you did. Give us some ideas in the comments so that we can help one another. Well, that's all I've got in the works for tonight of what I really wanted to say. And I hope that I help some of you to know that at any given age, at any given time, you can quit too and have a better life. And I'm here, I'm walking, talking proof. My life has improved since kicking these things out of my life, and the people that do it way too often for me that I don't even want to hear about it anymore. So that's that. Anyway, I'm Trace Face, and as always, it's time we face the truth together.